NartOutHere showing G2's Mirage A split. I'm going to show 3 different rounds against 3 different opponents that G2 ran this tactic. First against Big Clan. AmaNEk smokes window at the start. Him and nexa will go out mid fast with flashes, and they make their way to connector while the other 3 players are in palace. nexa kills Tapson and gets traded, and the palace players entry out. Hunter picks off Searson, and he gets into sight where he gets killed by Keto. AmaNEk kills Keto from behind, and then also finds another kill into his entire short. G2 get the bomb down, and Tizian saves in a 1v3 after plant. In this round, this tactic revolves around the G2 mid players drawing the CT's attention towards mid, while the Palace players make their way out. By coming out Palace, G2 have more view of the site in many positions, and forcing and taking more favorable aim duels rather than coming out ramp. From Palace, they can easily draw their attention on any one jungle or stairs, which will allow the connector players to lurk up connector. Also, by coming out Palace, they can easily deal with anyone dark, which I'll show in a later match. When do you want to run this strat? This strategy should be ran if your team has been taking mid control successfully, and you feel like the CTs will fight for mid, or if you know the other team is playing heavy mid or easily rotates to help out mid. That's when you call this tactic. I'm not going to show it here, but leading up to this round, G2 had mid control outside of their pistol and eco round. They had mid control 7 out of the 9 rounds going to this round. And as you can see, Big Clan had their A players and mid player towards window, jungle, and connector, trying to contest mid. nexa does a good job calling this strat at the perfect time, which you see it pays off in the end. Before I show you the players' POVs, make sure to follow me on my TikTok at NartOutHere. I post all of my CSGO tricks as well as preview all my other videos, so stay up to date and follow my TikTok at NartOutHere. AmaNEk, G2's Opera, has a rifle this round. He's going to throw the instant window smoke, which you can find on YouTube. Mahone and MSL alongside many others have covered this. AmaNEk is going to go mid with nexa where he flashes twice. He makes his way down mid ramp to follow nexa into connector. He's going to nade window while doing so. nexa gets a kill and gets traded, however AmaNEk gets flashed and he's unable to trade nexa initially. Once he recovers, AmaNEk peeks connector where he kills Keto from behind, who was focused on the G2 Palace players. After the kill, AmaNEk shifts his attention to short where he catches Zentaris off guard and kills him. Then AmaNEk makes his way into stairs through the top connector smoke. I'm going to skip the rest of the round here as Tizian's going to be left in a 1v3 and he chooses to save. nexa is very limited on nades this round with only 1 flash to work with. nexa is going to go towards mid where he flashes to the side of the top boxes. Then he makes his way out into mid ramp where he walks once he hits the middle, and he's going to swing on connector to time Tapson as he's throwing a smoke, however gets traded out by Keto. I'll go more in depth in the later matches, which shows what nexa does had he had more nades and had there been a bottom con smoke from the CTs. Hunter's going to be entering out Palace. He doesn't bother buying any nades here because there's a high chance he dies before getting a chance to use them. Usually it's JACKZ entering, but in this round Hunter will. You'll see in a later different match that Hunter will be second entry. He's going to walk out, peek and clear angles after initial contact made from nexa towards connector and kill Searson jungle, then falls to site where he loses the aim duel to Keto, who gets killed from AmaNEk from behind. JACKZ, who's usually the entry fragger for G2, will be the second entry in this round. G2 in a later match when running this strat will allow JACKZ to be first even if he doesn't have the spawn. For example, in this round Hunter would let JACKZ walk in front of him, which I'll show later in a different match. Anyways, as the second entry, JACKZ will be trying to trade out Hunter. He goes out with Hunter, however he's unable to trade the kill because AmaNEk gets a kill into Keto. All the A players from Big are dead, and JACKZ advances towards CT. He's going to re-smoke top connector as he does so, and he holds his angle here anticipating Tizian the B player to rotate towards CT, but he needs to be careful because Tizian could have flanked ramp and NiKo isn't watching it. NiKo has bomb and he will be the third player out Palace. He flashes mid from outside Palace. NiKo's role is to hold stairs and jungle as his teammates enter out. He will cover and trade them out. Once his teammates are out of Palace into sight, he will smoke top connector by staying at this wall, aim here, then left click throw. After he mollies jungle, since all the Big Clan A players are dead, NiKo doesn't have to be so uptight to swing to molly jungle. He drops down into sight and plants. He gets behind firebox afterwards and peeks into the middle of it where he can spot jungle. The reason why NiKo smokes top connector is because his teammates are going to entry out Palace into sight. The smoke will cover them from anyone from Big Clan holding from short. In this round, nexa is the one usually throwing this top connector smoke from mid ramp, but in this round he doesn't have that smoke because he has low utility. Here's G2 running the same strat against NaVi. AmaNEk going to smoke window to start, and this time around nexa has a smoke and molly to work with. AmaNEk and nexa make their way out mid fast with flashes. NaVi throw a bottom connector smoke. In response, nexa smokes top connector and mollies connector. The Palace players come out after that and they take the fight to the NaVi A players who are playing towards CT and jungle. Meanwhile, the G2 mid players wait out the bottom connector smoke and then once it fades, they work their way up, and AmaNEk kills electronic stairs. G2 plant the bomb, and they end up in a 3v1 after plant, which Perfecto opts to save. NaVi played 4 towards A this round, and G2's Palace players won the aim duels that allowed them to win this round. In regards to the G2 mid players, it would have been better had they gone through the bottom connector smoke and lurk out the top connector smoke, as the Palace players are taking the aim duels, because NaVi's attention would have been shifted towards the Palace players. In regards to nexa's nades, these nades are thrown for 3 reasons. First off, it gives a false sense of security to NaVi that G2 are defaulting towards mid and getting connector control to get their attention while the Palace players come out. And secondly, these nades clear one part of connector and deny vision from the top connector players to allow AmaNEk and nexa to get into connector, and could allow them to lurk out towards stairs if they want to, or go through the smoke towards jungle. And lastly, you've seen in the first round when NiKo smokes top connector, this smoke blocks off short as the G2 players get into sight. Same thing here with nexa's top connector smoke. I'm not going to go into commentary on these players' POVs here, but just know the main difference between this round and the one shown against Big is that nexa is the one throwing the first top connector smoke and not NiKo. NiKo will be more focused on covering his Palace teammates as they entry out, being the third player, so you want him to be gun out at all times. Also, with this strat here, ideally it should go along the lines of the G2 mid players drawing attention, then the Palace players come out, which then they're the ones drawing the opponent's attention from jungle and connector player, which then the G2 mid player should be able to lurk out through the top connector smoke to either trade or frag the CTs and catch them off guard. One protocol G2 have in place, which I haven't come across in any of their matches yet, is when they run this strat, let's say the mid players immediately, when they come out, they spot early mid aggression from the CTs, like for example, they're running up mid. Usually when teams do this, they play 3 towards mid. G2's Palace players should instantly, without hesitation, run out Palace because there's probably only one towards A. In the big clan round, you saw Hunter entry because of the spawns. Well, the same spawns occur here, with JACKZ being way behind Hunter. However, Hunter will allow JACKZ to entry here. This is ideal because, no disregard to JACKZ, he isn't the same player, but being the entry fragger, like I said before, there's a high chance you die, and you don't want that to happen when you have a player like Hunter and NiKo. You want those players to be in the back. You want them to follow up to be your second and third players. This will give G2 a really good chance to win the round as they're able to trade and frag out. Here's the third time they ran this execute, and against Complexity on a half buy, window smoke thrown at the start, and nexa and AmaNEk get out mid. There's no bottom connector smoke thrown from the CTs, and nexa has a smoke, so he smokes top connector. The Palace players come out and Hunter frags out. While this was happening, this time around G2 mid players will lurk out through the top connector smoke, and however, by the time they do so, Hunter killed everyone on A, and AmaNEk gets a kill towards Murder Hole, leaving Rush in a 1v3, which he saves. The main point here is that you see the G2 mid players taking advantage of the Palace players to draw Cole's attention to lurk out through their top connector smoke, which I wanted them to do in the round previous, which I showed against NaVi. Also, you see in this round, Hunter is the third entry. Palace, with his insane fragging power, opens up the site. If he was the first entry, there's no way he gets a 3k here. The last segment I want to show is a different A split that G2 ran. They will attack from 3 routes with 1 player Palace, 2 ramp, and 2 mid. This is a strategy and tactic that NaVi were running a lot against Gambit in the Star Ladder Finals, so if you want to see the full video, please join my Discord. That's going to be the end of the video, so make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Till next time, NartOutHere, peace.